your thoughts are going a million miles an hour and you're having a hard time focusing, and the person just sitting there just talking in maybe a mundane voice. If there was a little bit more drama, a little bit more passion, if there were some visuals, if there was something you could touch and feel, it might capture the student's ability to learn in a greater way.
Hi, my name is Justin Wiley. I'm currently completing a teaching certification program at the University of Hawaii and was asked to make a YouTube video discussing ways for supporting students with disabilities in the classroom. For this project, I chose to interview my friend Michael. Michael is an active entrepreneur and a prolific musician. He is married, has a 1-year-old, and another baby soon on the way. Michael's charming and creative personality make him easily distinguishable in a crowd, but most people who interact with him on a daily basis would not guess that Michael was formally diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Michael has seen his fair share of frustration since his symptoms first appeared at the age of 18. But amazingly enough, those symptoms are no longer evident in his life, even though today Michael is not taking any medications for bipolar disorder. As a high school teacher in training, I interviewed Michael in order to provide some background context to the research on supporting students with bipolar disorder in the secondary school classroom. But I also want this story to be heard because it is really quite remarkable. So, without further ado, here's Michael's story.
Alright, my experiences with bipolar. I was about 18 years old, and the first thing that I remember is I was very depressed and just didn't want to do anything. I lost all my energy. Just to think of getting on my moped and driving, 5 miles to the beach, seemed like I was gonna be barefoot and walk around the globe. It was had no energy, very depressed, and that was the beginning. After that, I swung into a normal state, and then what they call a mania, or a manic state, where life was beautiful. I was full of energy. I could hardly sleep at night. My thoughts would go a million miles an hour. If you're having a conversation with me and we're talking about something, I'd change the subject and change it again and change it again, and then end up where we started, and everything fit in perfect alignment. But it was like my thoughts were rapid fire, a million miles an hour. Everything was beautiful. People were beautiful. Life was beautiful. I was going to travel the world, be a millionaire, and I felt like there was nothing I couldn't do, and it was just incredible. And after that, kind of was normal for a while, and then swung into another depression.
Emotional disturbances affect about 8.1% of students aged 6 to 21 served by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. That comes to about 0.72% of the school population. And it's important to note that boys outnumber girls by about 3.5 to 1. So, what is bipolar disorder? Well, it's a brain disorder characterized by severe changes in mood, behavior, thinking, and energy level. Adolescents with bipolar disorder may vacillate between depressive and manic symptoms on a weekly, daily, or hourly basis, and they're often at risk of school failure and classroom misbehavior. Also, bipolar disorder commonly overlaps with other psychiatric disorders. For example, one study found that 80% of children with bipolar disorder also had attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Like with most emotional disturbances, we don't know what causes bipolar disorder. However, possible causes include biological factors such as genetic, biochemical, and neurological influences, as well as stress factors from the school, family, or culture. Bipolar disorder is considered one of the most heritable mental illnesses in that children of parents with bipolar disorder are more likely to develop a mood disorder of some kind.
I think one of the things is I had just graduated high school and I was homeschooled, and there was something about being 18, 19 and just having this freedom, and so I decided to go to college, and at college I signed up for I think they said you could have 6 credits, so I signed up for 6 classes, not realizing that each class was like 4 credits. So I thought, okay, should be easy. I had all these different classes, English class, computer class, Hawaiian class, it was really hard to focus. I'd sit in there and I have 1,000 questions. Like she's teaching and I have questions and I just keep raising my hand. And first couple of days she answered all my questions. Then she came to me and said, "Can you save your questions for the end of the class? You know, when the kids leave, you can sit with me so it doesn't take the whole class answering your questions." So I listened to her. I asked her if I could listen to headphones with real gentle instrumental music because it helped to keep me calm and focused. And she said no, because she said everybody else would want to have headphones on too, even though they were little tiny ones. Yeah, do more of that air guitar. Just get
Emotional disturbances are often difficult to objectively identify and classify, partly due to a reluctance on the part of school personnel to label a child emotionally disturbed. But traditional methods of identification include teacher checklists, parental checklists, classroom behavioral observations, and tests of intelligence, achievement, and psychological status. Once students are identified, a support team is assembled to monitor their progress towards specific goals on their individualized education plan, or IEP. School-based interventions can include different levels of special education services, specific classroom modifications, and direct services provided by school counselors and psychologists. So how can teachers support a student in the classroom with bipolar disorder? Well, teachers can adjust the student's schedule to accommodate a disturbed sleep-wake cycle, allowing a safe zone for students who experience significant irritability or rage episodes. Students with attention problems may benefit from preferential seating, frequent breaks, and organizational aids. It's also important to praise and encourage the student for even minor positive behavior. Teachers can also divert extra energy within the student by engaging them in physical activities. Teachers should communicate with the parents, staying informed of any changes in medication, and become familiar with the side effects of any psychotropic medications used to treat bipolar disorder. Lastly, a little patience goes a long way. Simply understanding that a student is not acting out, but displaying symptoms of an emotional disorder can help teachers to remain calm and collected when it matters most.
From what I can remember, they didn't treat me different than any of the others. They just understood that I was different as far as the way my mind worked and everything. And I remember that one of my teachers was very supportive, never made a big deal about it, never drew attention to it. She let me know if I ever needed any extra help or extra attention, that she was there for me. And I've even seen her lately, and this is, I'm 32 now, and I was probably 18, 19 back then, so it's been years. And every time I see her, she's always just interested to see how I am, and she's real caring, and that really helped.